Hi everyone, so today I want to show you how I made this. It's an arrow fold tent card. So it stands up, it doesn't stand up on my desk because it's nice and shiny, but normally it would stand up like that. And it's got a cute little kind of arrow fold detail on the front of it. So that's one I've just done with my craft class. And then this one is another one I've done. So yeah, it's quite an easy card to do. I like the fact it looks a little bit different. So let's get into it. So for this you need two base pieces of card that are going to be 6 inches by 6 inches. So I've got two pieces of white card I'm using. I use pink on those two, but for this card I'm going to use white. So two pieces of base card. Then you're going to take one of them and you need to get your scoreboard out. And on the one panel, you're just going to score halfway at 3 inches. So score 3 inches and you're going to fold it in half because that's going to be your tent fold card. So there's your little tent fold card. Okay, so you can put that to one side for now. Take the other piece. Now this bit of scoring is best done on a cork board. I find it quite difficult to do like diagonal folds, diagonal score lines on a normal scoreboard. So take your ruler, and what you're going to do is on 3 sides you're going to mark it at 3 inches. So on 3 sides of your card, mark at 3 inches, which is obviously your halfway, like that. And then you're going to take your scorer and your ruler, and if you turn it round so the top of your card has no marks and your 3-inch marks are only on the right, the left and the bottom, and then you're going to score from the top right hand corner to that bottom 3-inch mark. And the same again from the top left hand corner to the bottom 3-inch mark, and make sure that when you score you don't go over the top of the line you've already done. So make sure that that does not cross over that line, otherwise that is going to look a bit weird at the bottom there. Okay, so then what you want to do is go from the bottom again, and you're going to go to the left 3-inch mark, like that, and then from the bottom to the right 3-inch mark. So if you've ever made an arrow fold card, it's basically the same score lines, exactly the same score lines. So you end up with that. Okay, so then you want to fold along those lines. So the first line, which is your middle one, so from the corner to the bottom, you're going to do as a mountain fold. Give it a good burnish. And the next score line along is going to be a valley fold. And this is where you'll find out whether you've scored nicely at the bottom, because if you've crossed over any of the lines, you'll end up with a bit of tearing of your card. Same on this side, so the inside one is a mountain fold and then the outside one is a valley fold. Okay, so there we go. So you end up with that. So this is the right side. Okay, so you want it to fold behind, because in a bit we're going to stick it down so it looks like that. But we're not going to do that just yet. So now what you want to do is put that to one side and bring in your pattern and your mat pieces. So you need one piece of mat that is 2 3/4 by, excuse the reflection, this is my gold, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Yeah, and then you also want a piece of pattern. I'm using this plain white, but I've embossed it, and this is 2.5 by, sorry, this is my days, where's my brain gone? 2.5 by 5.5. Okay, so you want to stick that on top of there. And then you're going to stick the whole thing on top of the front of your tent card that you've done. So that's going to go on the front of there. Okay, so you end up with a tent fold card with a matte layer on the front. So now what you need is you need a matte layer that is, she says looking at her notes, a matte layer that is 5.5 by 5.5 and a pattern layer that is 5 by 5. Now I've got a plain layer. I'm going to emboss it because I'm doing a white and gold card. Okay, but if you look at this one, I actually did this floral. Now what I did with this card, these two cards actually, is I did it so deliberately so that I could do two at once. So I had some 6 by 6 pattern paper, and so one 6 by 6 panel, which was this little tiny rose print. I literally just cut the whole thing pretty much in half with a few little trimmy bits just for those, so I can make two cards out of that one sheet. And then the other two sheets, I had one sheet of this green and one sheet of this large floral. And as you will notice, I've got green on the little triangles, and then the big triangle is there. I've got the two little triangles of floral and the big floral triangle is there. So I've switched them over because if you want to do a two pattern arrow bit, then you need to use, it's better to make two cards in one go. Okay, so that's what I've done with that. So obviously with this one, I'm just doing a white and gold. So what you want to do with this is you're going to measure. So yes, this is 5.5 by 5.5. This is 5 by 5. So on the back of the matte panel, which is 5.5 by 5.5, you want to measure again along three sides, and you want to measure halfway. So at 2 3/4, you're going to make a mark on three sides again, because you're going to mirror the fold lines that you've just done on your main card base. So get your marks on, and then what I would do is do it on the reverse side, get a pencil and a ruler, and you're going to draw in exactly what you've just done, what you folded on the other one. So you're going to go from the top corner to the bottom middle, from the top corner to the bottom middle, and then from the left hand 3-inch mark to the bottom middle, and from the right hand 3-inch mark to the bottom middle, like that. So you end up with that on your card. Okay, then you want to get some tape, normal double-sided tape. You can use glue if you want, but I'm using tape. And you want to tape now. So we're going to cut this card in a minute along those lines. But before we do that, it makes things easier if you tape. So I'm going to use, and this white tape, I can still kind of see my pencil lines. So instead of taping across the whole thing, which would use up a lot of tape, I'm just going to do all the way around the four sides, and then do a few bits of tape just along those pencil lines so they straddle the pencil lines. So that's one edge, that's one edge. Let's do this side. So like that. And then where my lines are coming up here, I'm just going to straddle those pencil lines. So there's my pencil line there. So I'm going to put tape so that there's tape either side of those lines. So like that and like that. And do the same on this side. Okay, so you end up with tape and it all looking like that. Okay, now you can do the same on your other piece, your pattern piece. So again, on the reverse of the pattern, you're going to find halfway and mark on three sides. So this is 5 by 5, so that's nice and easy. So at 2.5 inches, you're going to mark on three sides. And again, with no marks at the top and only the sides and the bottom marked, you can do exactly the same again. Get your pencil and your ruler and draw a line connecting up the same sections as you did before. So the top corners to the bottom, and then the side marks to the bottom middle. And you're basically going to repeat exactly what you've done there. So you're going to put tape again on all of it. Now What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut along those lines that I've just done, you know, drawn in and put tape on. So next we need to add red tape here and also on this side here. So what I tend to do is get the side, because it's going to fold in like that. If you just turn it over, you can make a little mark so you know how far to put your red tape. Same on this side. We're just going to peel the backing off and stick that down. So from the front it looks like this, and then all we're going to do is put some tape along the back here, and we're going to stick that down too. So that makes your arrow fold. So then you're going to bring your tent card back in, make sure that it's obviously like a tent card, and then you need to get you're best off with a grid mat, cutting mat. So if you use something like this, lay your tent card onto the cutting mat, making sure it's lined up along the top, and then you can take your top piece. I would turn it over and draw on the back, so along the bottom of your tent fold you can make a mark halfway so you know where halfway is. And then take your arrow fold and lay it on the top, and make sure that the top is straight with the grid at the top, and this is at the halfway section. Now I've just drawn a line across so I know where I need to tape. So I now need to put glue or tape all over here and all over here. I'm going to use wet glue because I find it easier to position. And then just stick it down, and there's your tent card base done, your arrow fold tent card base done. And then all you need to do is add whatever you're going to put on the front. So obviously on this one I've done just some decoupage toppers, so whatever you're going to put on the front, and that's your card finished. Right, so I've just found this white and gold topper which I think will finish it off nicely. So I've just laid it up, put some pads on the back, and I'm now just going to stick that on the front, and then that's the card done. Super easy to do. As I said, you can make two at a time if you're using different pattern papers, and I just think it's a very nice version of the arrow fold card. So there we go. So there's the finished card. Stands up nicely. And it looks quite impressive. Even in white and gold, it looks quite impressive. So yes, so hopefully you'll have a go. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.